Welcome back, everybody. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Always ready to explore some new ideas.
Well, today we're looking at this text here, See and Be Silent, about the teachings of
The Sacred Atlantean Brotherhood.
the Sacred Atlantean Brotherhood, right? And it's a fascinating perspective on spiritual growth, really different from what we usually talk about.
Yeah, it definitely challenges a lot of modern assumptions about learning and sharing knowledge. It goes against the grain a bit.
In a world of instant everything, this idea of slowing down and going inward is pretty radical.
It is. And the Brotherhood really emphasizes being cautious about sharing insights too quickly.
Okay, so I gotta ask, isn't sharing knowledge usually seen as a good thing? I mean, it's how we learn from each other.
Right. But the text argues that talking about spiritual insights before they're deeply understood can actually hinder personal growth.
So almost like,
They compare it to digging up a seed before it has a chance to sprout, disrupting that development.
I see. So not giving it the chance to establish strong roots.
Exactly. And they think that happens when we share insights before we truly grasp them.
Okay, that makes sense. But what are the specific risks of what they call this premature sharing? I see misinterpretations, confusion, even ego inflation listed here.
Yeah, let's break those down a little.
Yeah.
Imagine you're super excited about this new productivity technique.
No, I've been there.
You tell everyone.
Right.
But
Yeah.
then personally, you struggle to actually make it work.
Oh, that's the worst. Feeling pressured to live up to something you haven't actually mastered.
Yeah.
The ego trap, for sure.
Right. You want to appear knowledgeable, but
Hmm.
and then there's the misinterpretations and confusion. When an idea is new to us, we're still processing it.
Still figuring it out, yeah.
If we start talking about it too soon, we might not convey it accurately. Could lead to misunderstandings.
And it's not just about being careful what we say, is it?
No, not at all. Other people's opinions, all that input, it can cloud our own judgment before we form our own understanding.
So it's like trying to listen to a quiet melody with a brass band playing right next to you.
Perfect analogy. It's about being mindful of all that noise around us that can distort our understanding.
Okay, I'm starting to see how silence is a big theme here. But what does that actually look like in practice? It's got to be more than just not talking, right?
It is. The Brotherhood views silence as active internal work, creating that space for genuine integration of knowledge.
So giving those seeds a chance to take root and flourish without distraction.
Exactly. Like a young plant that needs shelter from the elements to grow strong.
But with the constant information overload we face today, finding that kind of silence seems almost impossible.
And that's a crucial point. It's why this teaching is so relevant today, I think. We're exposed to so many conflicting ideas and opinions online and the media, it can be hard to even figure out what we believe.
Right, constantly bombarded with information, never really absorbing or integrating anything fully.
Exactly. And the Brotherhood's emphasis on silence, it pushes back against that, encourages us to step back from all that noise and find those pockets of stillness where we can connect with our inner wisdom.
So it's not about never speaking, but being more discerning about when to speak. And I'm seeing this phrase, natural flowering, waiting until our understanding has matured before sharing.
Yes, that's a key concept, like a fruit ripening on a tree.
You can't force it. You have to nurture it and trust the process.
Exactly. When it's ripe, it naturally falls ready to nourish others.
That's a great way to put it. So instead of speaking from ego or a desire to impress, the goal is to share from genuine understanding, a desire to actually benefit others.
Precisely. It's not about withholding knowledge, but making sure that when we do share, it's truly beneficial and comes from a place of deep knowing.
This brings us to another point from the text that's, it might be a little controversial. The idea of loyalty to a teacher. They seem to be advocating for finding one you resonate with and sticking with their teachings for a while.
I can see why that might raise some eyebrows, yeah. In a world of endless choices, we're always told to explore, find the perfect fit for everything.
So much pressure to optimize every aspect of our lives.
Exactly. But I do think there's wisdom in what the Brotherhood suggests, don't you?
I'm a little torn, to be honest. I see the value in diving deep into one teaching and really letting it sink in. But I also wonder if staying within one framework could be limiting.
I hear you. Could we miss out on valuable perspectives by doing that?
Right. What if there's something else out there that could help us grow even more?
That's a valid concern. But maybe it's not about a lifetime commitment to one teacher. Maybe it's more about recognizing the value of deep immersion before hopping to the next shiny thing.
I like that. So instead of buffet-style spirituality where we sample a little bit of everything,
Choose a single delicious dish and really savor every nuance of its flavor.
that's a great analogy. And the Brotherhood really seems to advocate for that kind of savoring, finding a teaching that resonates, and fully immersing ourselves in it.
They do.
And they have this powerful analogy to illustrate this point. They compare constantly switching teachers to repeatedly transplanting a sapling, each move disrupting the roots and weakening its ability to thrive.
And while exploring different perspectives is valuable, doing so prematurely can hinder deep understanding.
It's like trying to master a musical instrument by switching between piano, guitar, and drums every week.
You never become proficient in any of them.
Exactly, and it really challenges our cultural obsession with instant gratification, doesn't it?
It does. We want results now, and that often leads us to jump between methods and teachings without giving any of them a real chance.
It's almost like we're afraid to commit, to really delve into something deeply. And the Brotherhood is reminding us that true strength, that inner resilience that helps us through tough times, comes from wisdom that takes time to cultivate.
It's like building a solid foundation for a house. It takes time and effort, but once it's in place, you can build anything you want on top of it.
You know, that reminds me of a time I tried to learn calligraphy. I was so eager to create these beautiful flowing letters. I had this vision of writing elegant invitations, crafting these artistic masterpieces. I bought all the fancy pens and inks, watched tons of YouTube tutorials, the whole 9 yards.
Really went all in.
I did, but I quickly realized calligraphy, well, it wasn't about instant gratification. It demanded patience and practice, a lot of practice. And me, in my eagerness to be good, like right away, I skipped ahead in the lessons, tried to do too much too soon. My letters, they looked more like chicken scratch than elegant script.
I can imagine it's a skill that takes time to develop.
It does. And I was ready to give up. I was so frustrated. But then it hit me that I was approaching calligraphy with that same instant result mentality that's everywhere these days. I needed to slow down, embrace the process, go back to the basics.
That's like a powerful realization.
It was. So I did. I focused on those fundamental strokes, practicing over and over until they became second nature. And eventually I started to see real progress. It wasn't about speed or shortcuts. It was about embracing the journey. That slow and steady practice is what led to genuine skill development.
That's such a perfect parallel to the Brotherhood's teachings, isn't it?
Right.
They emphasize that real spiritual growth, it's not about quick fixes or overnight transformations. It's about patiently cultivating inner wisdom, one step at a time.
Right. You can't force a seed to sprout, just like
Yeah.
you can't rush the development of true understanding. It takes time, dedication, and that willingness to embrace the journey, even when it's tough or things feel slow.
And that can be a tough pill to swallow in a world that's constantly telling us about instant success and overnight transformations.
Yeah, it's a real challenge to resist that kind of thinking. But the Brotherhood's message, it reminds us that real strength, the kind that can weather any storm that comes from within. It's not about external validation or, achievements, but cultivating that deep inner knowing that can't be shaken by trends or outside pressures.
Exactly. And it's something we build over time, brick by brick. So as we go deeper into these teachings, I want to explore this concept of natural flowering a bit more. It's about recognizing when our understanding has matured to the point where sharing becomes a natural and beneficial act, right?
Yeah, moving beyond that surface level knowledge to where our insights have become a part of who we are, right?
Yes, sharing from a place of overflow.
Hmm.
When our wisdom naturally wants to express itself and benefit others.
That makes sense. But how do we know when we've reached that point? What are the signs that our understanding is, I don't know, ripe for sharing?
That's a great question. It's not always easy to tell, but I think there are some clues. First, there's a sense of deep inner knowing, a feeling that the wisdom has become a part of you, not just something you read or heard about.
So it's more than just intellectual understanding then.
Yeah, it goes beyond that. There's also a sense of ease and effortlessness in sharing. The wisdom, it flows naturally without a need to impress or prove anything.
And I imagine there's a genuine desire to benefit others rather than seeking validation or recognition for ourselves.
Absolutely. It's about sharing from a place of service, recognizing that our insights can uplift and inspire those around us.
Okay, I'm getting that, but I'm still wrestling with this idea of teacher loyalty. Is there a point where we might benefit from exploring different perspectives? How do we know when it might be time to move on from one teaching to another?
That's where discernment comes in. It's not about blindly following one teacher or one path forever. It's about recognizing that true mastery often requires depth, and that often means dedicating ourselves to one approach for a significant period of time before we consider other perspectives.
Ah, so finding a balance between deep immersion and being open-minded.
Exactly. We can be open to new ideas and teachings without, constantly jumping ship from one to another. It's about giving ourselves the time and space to fully integrate what we're learning before moving on.
And this ties back to the idea of patience, which seems to be a big theme in the Brotherhood's teachings. We live in a culture that values speed and efficiency, but real growth, whether spiritual or in any other area of life, it often just takes time.
It does. It's about embracing the journey, honoring the natural rhythms of growth, and understanding that true mastery is a process, not a destination.
And this whole conversation has really made me think about my own relationship with learning and sharing, or realizing how often I've approached new ideas with that instant results mentality, wanting to share before I've really integrated the concepts myself.
I think we've all been there. It's so ingrained in our culture, but the beauty of the Brotherhood's teachings is that they offer a different perspective, a path that emphasizes depth, patience, and a deep reverence for the process of growth.
And that's such a powerful message, especially in a world that often feels so chaotic and overwhelming. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to bring us back to those core ideas. Hear, see, and be silent. Find a teacher. Be patient. Allow wisdom to unfold in its own time. What what stands out to you most from this exploration so far?
What resonates most deeply with me is that invitation to cultivate stillness amidst all the noise. It's a reminder that true wisdom often speaks in whispers, not shouts. And by creating space for silence and deep reflection, we open ourselves up to these profound insights that might otherwise remain hidden.
I love that, and I think it's a message we all need to hear. So, dear listener, as we move into the final part of this deep dive, I invite you to consider how these teachings might apply to your own life. Where could you use a bit more of that thoughtful silence, you know? Could it be before you hit send on that heated email, or before you dive headfirst into a debate online?
Maybe even before making a big decision. Just pausing to reflect, allowing those seeds of understanding to take root before taking action. I think that can make all the difference.
It really is like choosing to listen to that quiet inner voice instead of getting swept away by all the external noise. And it's not always easy, but man, it can be powerful. What do you think? Have you found this to be true in your experience?
Oh, absolutely. I've learned the hard way that rushing to share or to act often creates more problems down the road.
Oh, yeah.
Creating space for that silence, for that reflection, it allows for a deeper level of discernment. And honestly, I think it can prevent a lot of unnecessary stress and regret.
That's a really valuable insight, I think. So easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of everyday life. But taking those moments to pause and reflect, I mean, it can be transformative.
It really can. And even if the whole Sacred Atlantean Brotherhood thing isn't your thing, there's still so much we can take from these principles. It's practical guidance for navigating this crazy modern world with more wisdom and intention.
Totally agree. It's like they've given us this mental toolkit for approaching challenges with more thoughtfulness and grace. And it all starts with cultivating that inner stillness.
Because sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is just be, to quiet the mind, to listen to our intuition, and to allow that wisdom to emerge in its own time.
I love that. Such a powerful reminder. And if this deep dive has sparked any reflections for you, we'd love to hear about them. Share your thoughts and experiences on social media using the hashtag #HearSebaSilent. Let's keep this conversation going.
Who knows?
No.
Maybe in those moments of quiet reflection, your own inner wisdom will start to speak volumes.
That's where the real magic happens. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. Until next time, keep seeking, keep questioning, and keep those minds wide open.